Can a livery influence how an aircraft model feels like? Well, that is the question I will try to answer in today's review, which of course is brought to you by the great prices of the FMB shop, link in the description below. And with that, let's get to it. Hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at an Airbus A321-200 of Royal Jordanian Airlines. At the front of the box we have a cutout so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft model inside, and on top of that we have the Royal Jordanian Airlines branding. The backside of the box, another letdown from Herpa Wings with yet another pointless cutout. But we have the information that this is a Wings Club edition or Wings Club model, and of course also a limited edition, so we can expect more details than usual. But before we get any further into today's review, it is worth mentioning that this aircraft model does come with a stand. And here she is, the Airbus A321-200 in the retro livery of Royal Jordanian Airlines. Now, the airline did originally start out as Alia Royal Jordanian Airlines, which explains this livery and the name of the airline displayed on the aircraft. Now, the airline was started in 1963 by King Hussein, who named the airline after his oldest child, Princess Alia bint Al Hussein. So that's a little bit of a backstory to the livery, and if I butchered any of the names, I do apologize. I tried my best. But now let's focus on the aircraft model, where we can see on the vertical stabilizer we have the Alia branding. We also have a bit of printed detailing on the horizontal stabilizer, and on the fuselage we then find the full registration code of the aircraft and the aircraft type specification. We do actually also on both sides of the aircraft have this little logo celebrating, I presume, a 100-year anniversary, but it can't be of the airline given that it was founded in 1963, so if you know what that is about, let me know in the comment section below. At the front of the aircraft, if we follow the red and golden cheat line, we find the Alia, the Royal Jordanian Airlines branding, and of course also the flag of Jordan. At the front of the aircraft, just behind the cockpit windows, we also have the Jordanian crown. We find next to the cabin door the one-word logo of which Royal Jordanian is a full member, and underneath the golden sheet line we also have the name of the aircraft. Apart from that, of course, we also have plenty of small markings and static ports. On top of the fuselage we then also find a set dome that has been added. So far so good. So far not so good, however, is the cockpit section. The main problem here are the cockpit windows, the placement of those. I mean, this just doesn't look nice. Yes, in real life the red sheet line does continue above the cockpit windows, but it doesn't make such a wobble. And I mean, I'm not surprised. Herpa is pretty much always struggling with the A321 cockpit section, but this is a little bit of a letdown given how nice the aircraft so far has been. So perhaps it's better to move on to the engine ourselves, and they have been kept in all white, but do have the silver leading edge printed on as well as some safety relevant markings, so that's pretty alright. Which is also pretty alright is the physical detailing of these engines, where I think Herpa is doing a pretty decent job, especially here from the front where we very nicely can see the engine fan blades. And then we can move on to the wings, which we should also take a closer look at, starting off with the top side where we can see the different flaps, slats and spoilers have been carved out very nicely. We do also have the marking as to where to walk on the wing printed on. The underside of the wing offers us more nice physical detailing, and here we also find the full registration code of the aircraft once again. The wings sport the classical wingtip fences of Airbus, and I think Herpa is doing an excellent job in replicating those. And then we can move on to the landing gear, which is the standard landing gear that Herpa uses for all the Airbus A320 family aircraft models. A good thing for the main landing gear, which looks really nice. Not so good, however, for the front landing gear, which is massively oversized, but at least we do this time have some printed details in form of the last two letters of the registration code, but slightly undermined by the questionable placement of this print. On the belly of the aircraft we then do find a hole in the fuselage, and as mentioned, this model comes with a stand, so it kind of makes sense, but I'm still not a fan of it, but at least this time it doesn't destroy any printed details. And then last but not least, we do also have the doors to the cargo compartments printed on here at the back of the aircraft, and also here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Airbus A321-200 in the retro livery of Royal Jordanian Airlines by Herpa Wings in scale 1 to 500. And what can we say about this aircraft model? So in the beginning of the video I asked the question if the livery of an aircraft can influence what a model feels like. And as strange as that sounds, I do actually mean that quite literally. Now, for a lack of better words, this model feels chunky. And it's most likely down to the livery having some visual effect, something that when you hold the model, it just feels nice. But I mean, it is a standard A321. Herpa hasn't changed anything on the model, so it shouldn't feel different than all the other ones we have gotten before that, but it just feels more chunky, and that is strangely nice. But apart from my weird sensation when I hold this aircraft model, it is actually a pretty decent one. I mean, yes, it is being let down by the typical weaknesses of Herpa Wings, so the cockpit section being a bit weird and the front landing gear being oversized. But the amount of details we have on the model is really lovely. I mean, there are plenty of small prints across the entire fuselage, as it should be, but with Herpa it's unfortunately not standard. The wings are for me another highlight of this aircraft model. They are really lovely made by Herpa Wings, and overall the physical detailing of this model is actually pretty good. So as far as A321s from Herpa Wings and scale 500 goes, this is probably the pinnacle that we can expect from Herpa Wings, at least to date. So now that we have reached the end of today's video, I will be waiting for being ridiculed in the comment section below about my strange comments about the feel of the aircraft model. But with that, we have really reached the end of today's episode. So if you have enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like. And of course, if you are new around here, I promise you I won't always be this weird, then you can also hit subscribe. With that, thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.